of the Idris-P Philadelphia. Thank you for making entry into Pyro, and I hope it was smooth.
And where down we go, 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 go. Oh, where down we go, 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 go. So where down we go, 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 go. Way down we go.
I don't have long before this transmission starts leading back to you, so I'm going to keep this simple. Spectrum-wide, we are currently having stories about ASD's projects on Pyro 1 and the unfortunate side effects. We need you to get a crew on the ground. Use your Lynx rover and find a way in. Lazarus sites, particularly Phoenix, have been offline for quite a while and are not active at this time. And we are currently getting very spooked by how in the dark everyone is. I don't have good answers for you on the safety of this mission, but there's no one else nearby. Please take a team in there and get in there as quickly and as quietly as possible. We depend on you.
Oh, 'cause they will run you down, down to the dark. Yeah, someday we'll run you down, down till you fall. Oh, and they will run you down, down till you go. Yeah, till you can't grow no more.
Welcome to my preview for the ASD sites on Pyro 1. And I'm going to leave the rest of this video unedited for the most part. I may do like short clips if I'm standing around for 5 minutes straight or something. But other than that, it's all going to be unedited, an attempt to explain what's going on. So when you land at one of the Lazarus sites, they're in like trios. There's like 3 of them, and they're intended to, I believe, split up the number of players in different places. When you get there, you have to get out of your ship and be on foot. This whole area is a combat zone, and it's PvX, so player versus player, player versus monster. In the old days, this would be player versus the staff of the ASD facility in this case, that are NPCs. And there are multiple different types of NPCs. There's radiation shielded ones, there's ones in combat armor, there's like security, internal security folks that are a little more lightly armed. And to answer the age-old question, if you just came to find out what the cheat sheet is, pack a P4AR and you'll have infinite ammo. Any of those type of weapons are going to be really good to go. If you want to bring a lot, we had a lot of luck with Demicos, except for my Demco, the batteries that were attached to my chest plate helpfully did not come attached. So there's that. I'm going to claim user error. I'm not going to blame the game. Fortunately, my buddy Monk had his functional, so that was nice. He was able to lend me some until I just gave up and just started using P4AR the whole time. Now, as a reminder, I just said that 3 locations lead to one Lazarus site. There are multiple Lazarus sites that these are all connected to. And those 3 sites, what are they actually? They are shuttle stations. So you land your ship, you come over here, you look for a shuttle, and in my case, I'm desperate to find said shuttle, and I kind of missed the forest through the trees. I could have sworn I saw it landing off to the side. And looking back now, and not frantically thinking about, you know, who's attacking what, I didn't realize this outline meant there was a shuttle there. The shuttle flew in from the side and then curved around to meet at the station, obviously. Now, as far as I know, there is no safe zones in this entire setup. It is intentionally set up that way. I am not going to weigh in on, you know, when PvP, PvX type content should just be this way. But it is what it is. This is what you're dealing with when you go in here. If you don't want to stressfully think about player versus player constantly, be sure to bring a lot of friends, go in with a group and have a good time, or just go in the PTU and not worry too much like we did. So the preview, a lot of the site is not as far as we could find contestable, and boy did we spend a lot of time exploring it. But there was just rooms with no access. There was no contracts that we could find. You can see this NPC that's guarding the station in a full Stirling suit. If you saw the previews and rumors and stuff for those, and then the eventual official pictures of it, that Stirling suit is for radiation. You will need it here. Once you're at the main site through the shuttle, you will note in the bottom left the new radiation symbol with the suit going, with the suit degrading and the radiation. Basically, don't bring anything you care about aside from ammo. Ammo you will care about a lot unless you're just going to go the P4AR route. There's also this SMGs and stuff like that, but I wouldn't do that here. Anyway, the Stirling suit will protect you enough from the radiation where you don't have to worry about it, and the NPCs are all lined with them. And you'll see these monster closet type elevators that you've seen on Orison. So the PVX environments on the platforms of Orison feel a lot like this. And just instead of some platform, it's the old Rayari map. So if you've ever done different types of Star Marine or explored it even recently in the Triggerfish event where there's a miniature Rayari event, it's a reskinned Rayari facility. So that same horseshoe shape with multiple floors to it and multiple chutes and ladder style staircases that could get you killed are here with only a few doorways in. So we are actually, in this moment in this video, we are heading up towards a dead end. And I do want to note, there was a small cut I had during the shuttle trip, and that was not because I was trying to be clever and make it shorter. The shuttle, for whatever reason, made my computer start acting up. 7800 X3D, 64 gigs of RAM, 4070 Ti, with DLSS running on with 4K, but of course 4K capture too. And for whatever reason, that made the computer act up. So it was fine once I got here, but I did want to note that during the shuttle ride, it was locked up for a few seconds, acting up. So once you're here again, you can see me messing up the loot menu a couple times here, remembering the new loot menu. I am frantically trying to find this Stirling suit. I'm trying to get my hands on it. I am noticing that the radiation is peaking off the charts. I have no idea if it's just going to insta-kill me at some point, and I am trying to get my hands on that Stirling suit. You can also see the stats on it if you want to pause the video here. You'll note its temp range is negative 75 to 225 positive. So that's pretty good stats. It's basically like the new environmental suit for the mid-range. And because it can handle radiation, it's really going to be nice. You also note the nice thing that all the enemies have med pens in particular. So that was something my buddy spotted from the beginning, that there was lots of med pens on the ground. You'll note the suit. And the suit instantly changes over the helmet as this it is not like a chest piece, leg piece. Environmental suits, if you haven't fiddled with those, it's like an all or nothing. And then the helmet is a special size just for it. And it is designed to handle the radiation. Because the NPCs have, some of them are in the rad suits and some of them are in like full-on combat armor and some of them are in lighter armors that are more security minded. I made the assumption that basically that armor would, the non-radiation protected armors would be inside, whereas the exterior folks would be outside. And you'll see why. Once you go inside, the radiation doesn't really have as much impact, at least based on what I saw. It seems to be exterior. And this place, even though it is a Rayari reskin, is quite beautiful. It's that black and red reskinned colors of the Rayari facility. I keep saying that word because it means something. You can see the big grand courtyard type glass, and you can see the entry points. Note the intense amount of lighting on the entrances. So if these are the most dangerous places to make entry is not these little monster closets. When the NPCs are working right on a server, they're pretty terrifying, sure, in a group. But what was more scary was the if there was a player camping that door, because you come off the shuttle in the same spot at the edge of that dock, and it gives plenty of time for them to see you coming in, and you're shooting stuff on the whole way in to stay alive, and of course looting, trying to get your P4AR going on, and you'll see that throughout the video, me screwing this up. It is what it is. So in PBX content, a lot of times people either gear up for PvP or they gear up for PvM. And it's kind of difficult at Star Citizen because there is no FPS scanner that's reliable yet. We are getting hints that it'll be coming very soon. But we really need not just a scanner, but the ability to see the person's crime status. So if there's a guy sitting in the corner and 2 rooms in that just murders everybody who runs in the door, it would be really helpful to know they're there and you're going to be in a fight. And most importantly, if they have some type of stealthed up system, being able to at least let people know, hey, you better start looking. Well, won't give you their exact position, but they're in this general area. This right here caused a lot of fervor, the first PTU builds coming out, because what was happening was the regen, it's in the bottom right where you click the OK button. You can set your regen here, but if you die anywhere near this medical facility and then you respawn on the bed, they'll just get you again, right? You go through the animation, you pop up next to the machine, and they have plenty of time to set up to take you down, even though you still have your gear. It's less than ideal. If there was medical facilities that were spread out and it didn't have giant glass windows that you could see the player spawning in, and doors so you didn't hear them spawning in, that would be much more useful. And it feels like this was a massive oversight when they basically made this up to make it the ASD facility. And again, this is insistent that this is PBX content. Now, granted, also med beds in general are what they are. The shuttle choice was what it was. I should have said this from the beginning. You must take the shuttle. The shuttle is set up to get through the electromagnetic storms that are surrounding the facility. So in order to get into this facility, you must land. You must go into a shuttle and then take it over. But once you're here, you can register on that set of med beds you saw. Now, I was able to register. My buddy was not. But I do want to note, this is still early PTUs, or mid PTUs, I guess you could say. You can see the AI just absolutely acting up, and this is something else you'll see even on a server with good server FPS, and you will see situations where the AI gets really weird and wonky when it's an area that's heavily played, like during newer bunker missions, and when the 890 jump thing came out again. 890 jump contracts came out that were all nice and really good to loot gear from. The AI, it was always I just felt like it was it didn't make any sense. I know it was supposed to be different instances, but I just seemed like the minute people started getting wind of it, the AI just started acting weirder. People were interested, people were heavily using it, and that's what it is. As I mentioned, some of the security personnel, some of them don't even have helmets on. Then you have these guys with full combat gear. And yeah, it is what it is. There's unarmed scientists running around as well, which is kind of weird. And one of the things I wanted to mention is, why are you here? So the ASD folks are fiddling with issues of failing regeneration system. So people that had newer regenerations or cheaper regenerations than us pilots are suffering because some of their relatives are not coming back when they're supposed to regenerate. And the whole premise of this testing is like it's playing with the whole rules of what this system's about. And ASD, specifically, is supposed to be like a good company, but it turned out they were doing illegal experiments and they were fiddling with things they shouldn't have been playing with. So the Lazarus Project is your exploration into that world. I don't want to spoil it completely. There's not a lot. I'm not really hiding anything per se. But there is some stuff if you check out, the leaks or the rumor mills and stuff about some of the extra photos and things that are available. And basically, just to cut to the chase, the Valakar have these valuable resources on them. They are testing the irradiated Valakar. And the Valakar are irradiating the ground because the facility keeps bringing back the materials and growing little ones of them. And again, I don't want to spoil some of the plot, so you have something to find when you explore this yourself when it comes out on the PU, not the PTU. But that's kind of the gist. There are materials, you collect them, and when this is active in the PU, you will find the specimens, and you will go to the tower and put those specimens in the tower within 30 minutes of finding them. It's kind of a capture the flag game for players, because the minute you take those specimens out of the rumor is it'll be in a lab of some sort, the materials to the tower, these rare specimens, other players are going to want to take them off of you to put them in the tower themselves. This originally was pretty nuts. It was players were they were going and they were taking the resources, had to get them back to the shuttle and somehow make their way to stay alive to their ship without anybody messing with them or taking their stuff. Even if you don't kill you, just knocking it all out of the shuttle be a nightmare. So they simplified it. So CIG heard feedback apparently, and they took the specimen concept for these facilities, and the idea was that it's like jump scares. You open the door and there's like all these enemies just pointing guns right at the doorway. Yet they didn't come out and help their friends, but there they are. So the deal is that they take these specimens over to the tower, and that's where the madness ends. None of this involves your ship. The ship just gets you to the shuttle location. You absolutely could use your ship to contest the shuttle location and attack other players. If you stayed out far enough, like when they come in from Quantum for the most close, like say checkmate station, you would have this situation where you could go and, in theory, camp a position for maybe 1 or even 3 locations, but there's no way you're going to contest multiple shuttle locations once you're under the cloud cover and into the ion, the edges of the ion storms and stuff where you're supposed to land for the shuttle. So you could hold one shuttle position, but people could still come from the other 2. So the most common sense thing for large player groups would be to hold the shuttle landing location inside this facility. They'd probably be pretty successful. You saw it yourself that the monster closets are mostly towards the doors, and there's only like one NPC that spawns near the shuttles anyway, and you can use them as a canary for incoming players. The minute they light up that one NPC, then you know to take them down as they hop off the shuttle. That being said, anybody with common sense is going to know you're going to, these choke points are going to be held. So they're going to fight you tooth and nail to try to get off that little beachhead they're made once they hop off that shuttle. Or they'll let the shuttle keep rolling and go back and then attack your parked ships or something if they are going to the same location you landed at. There's piles of ships over there, by the way. It wouldn't surprise me if people attack them, salvage them, etc. I wouldn't take anything you truly cared about. So, in general, I think this event is something that Star Citizen desperately needs as some reason to go to Pyro for players that are seeking that adrenaline rush. I can see groups of players when it hits the PU, the persistent universe, on the live side. When it hits the live, I could definitely see players getting excited about this and really going and taking a Friday night and going over and doing some specimen grabs, and then maybe, heading off to do something else for the rest of the weekend, that kind of thing, like weekend warrior fun. I don't see this as something I think people will want to farm, except for a few key people. And that's the unfortunate thing. I think what's going to happen is a few PvP orgs are going to really run this place throughout its event. I would not shock me if CIG turns this facility on and off to discourage that. So, 4-hour periods or something, and then it shuts off for 12, just to kind of force people to leave and stop camping it. But they can set their medical to here. They can log off their ship, put it 2-3 miles away and then log off in the ship. And then when the event happens, it's like a dinner bell for them to all come running back. And whoever gets here first will be able to hold it the best. So it's not perfect. I'm not saying it has to be, but I think there was some things that were not really well designed about this if they wanted the larger audience to come here that are not interested in PvP. And I think Orison, the battle for Orison did a lot better. So when we had the Orison invasions by our friends, the pirates, I think that they did a better job of mixing in player versus player versus PvX versus purely PvM. And I think they could do a little better with this. I understand Pyro is supposed to be a lawless hellscape. I get it. But there should be a way to play this with reduced rewards and still just be able to have fun and explore it and go through it. I think. I don't know exactly how that would work out. You can note that the Valakar life stages thing I showed earlier, you can see it right there on the wall. These Valakar are huge. I mean, you're talking about a creature that can hit like 500 feet long when you're talking about the apex huge ones. The samples are right in these locations. At least the lab is. And this is right where they're studying the Valakar. By the images and the rumor mill I've seen, it looks like the specimen is an egg. So it's like an alien looking egg, probably in those containers in the corner, but I can't be certain. On the right side of the screen right now. Sorry, I keep flipping around. But you see experimental young Valakar out there. They did a lot of good work on the design of this space. It's pretty neat. And you can see the old, Ryari facility, ready room, locker space there. And it's new badging, new designs, new art, new pieces here and there, new logos, new color and lighting schemes. But at the end of the day, it's still the Ryari bones on this facility. And it brings up an interesting point. I think CIG needs to do a better job of moving us towards player outposts and having dynamic gameplay that way. Trying to force people to ride on a shuttle in a horrible place like Pyro is not that great. I think it would be much more interesting to raid each other's facilities in a high-risk, high-reward environment like Pyros, with player outposts full of refinery materials and other and rail relics and all sorts of fun stuff. Maybe Valakar eggs, just like we're dealing with here. And then be able to, when you're not wanting to do all that and you're just playing alone, or you're just trying to relax and vibe on a Saturday morning, you can go back to your safe haven with, you know, an outpost that's in partial security of Stanton, and no one can raid it, but they can mess with your ship or something if you're not careful or something. And then, of course, the highest security being some of the outposts where they're just literally untouchable. They have the equivalent of a shield protecting the entire place. And that would be very fun and a good example of like why, again, this just feels very limiting, because this brand new content, you'll never see it if you don't come to Pyro and risk your life. You figuratively, of course, right? But I'm not trying to be pessimistic about it, but I just feel this is why people sometimes will bring up the fact of like, why does it have to be PVX every time when there's this brand new content, and an entire patch cycle has been hung around this for 4.2. This is like the big thing, you know. It's been put on their Twitter page and all the different accounts they have for socials, and the excitement is being hyped around this, YouTube channels, and you know, all the different things. I don't think it's for everyone, and that's kind of where I'll leave this. If this is for you, it's for you. It's right here. I think I did my job, and this video will probably get 200 views, at least. People actually bothered to watch it past a minute in. But at least I made it fun. I tried my best to make it a good preview and show you an honest view of what you're walking into. Again, if you've been jumping around the chapters and you're just interested in the final, you go to the Lazarus site, you pick whichever one you want. You can absolutely don't have to commit to one full of other ships. You can go to one without ships. You can go move around and scout them. Smaller ships are smart because you can get around quicker. If you bring a bomber, that's even nastier. People might shoot you out of the sky, but you can also clear a path. You can blow up other ships if you really are that antsy. You have options, right? Anything with bomb racks will give you options, or the A1 or something. Now, once you pick your spot and you commit, you're gonna get out of the ship. You're gonna have to get over in a PvP environment over to a shuttle station, and the shuttle station is contested. You have to wait for the shuttle. The shuttle comes through the center. Don't let the environmental stuff distract you with the rain and the thunder and lightning and the darkness or whatever. The shuttle is outlined in bright white. You can't miss it. It's the only thing glowing outside the station. It is an exterior run. You have to run from the station out of cover into the shuttle. That means that players with ships can absolutely camp that. Once you get into the shuttle is not safe. But the shuttle is obviously protected from other players. They can't just camp you with a ship at the very least, because their ship can't make it or be knocked out of the sky by the electromagnetic storm. Once you get here, get away from the shuttle. There will usually be one NPC camping. You need to get into the buildings. Otherwise, and remember, the entrance is the most dangerous place against players, but outside is the most dangerous place, period, outside of those entrances. Once you're inside, look for the labs. I will have an update on a pinned comment if this changes once it goes to live, of where exactly the specimens are. You move the specimens to what's called the calling tower, according to rumors. Again, if that changes, I will put it in a pinned comment. You do not have to take the specimens back onto the shuttle. That is a bad idea, because then that will really encourage players to attack you. Do not trust other players. Try to go in a group if you want to have an easier time of it. try to time your event during time zones where you're going to be quieter. So I would go in, once this hits live, I would go on an EU server with the equivalent of what is super early in the morning for them, or the US time zones, the NA servers. I would go into the opposite of that, right? I would just play your game, try to play the latency versus what you get game. That's all I got. Take care. Best of luck.
And where down we go, oh, 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 where down we go, oh, oh, say where down we go, oh, 'cause say we run you down to your car, oh, way down we go. So where down we go, way down we go.